Welcome along to another round of the QKC Lockdown Challenge, and you join us at the Kyoto Driving Park Miyabi layout, of course. We got an 11-man grid here, and all the kart races are raring to go. We got a host of international races too, so that will spice things up. 5 red lights ahead of the races, and away we go. A decent start from Jerison off the line. Samuel follows him behind. It's Alexander in fourth there. Rashid, though, giving them a hard time up front. Can he make a move? They're about 3 wide through the first corner. We see Faisal and Omar just behind two getting involved in the top 3 scrap. They're going to go 3 wide downhill to turn number 3. They're literally 2 rows of 3, and there's absolute carnage going on here. There's a crash. There's Faisal out. There's Omar out. I think that's also Stanley, possibly even Page on Stanley's ahead. So loads of cards going off over here. It seems Jerison came out best there. Stanley is off too. It seems Alexander over here in P7 is off. Page went off. Faisal went off. Omar went off. And I think Antoine couldn't get off the line, so he's still in 11th place. So real drama off the line here at Kyoto Park. You see Antoine's cart there, it didn't go off the line, and fortunately it's ghosting, but in the moment, of course, the kart races can't be sure unless they go through, and that's a risk, of course. So nonetheless, up front there's a battle between Jerison and Samuel. They're very close to each other. I'll tell you what, the Rashid is keeping interested too. He's about a 10th behind and sizing up a move on Samuel. He looks down the inside, potentially broke a bit early there, meaning Samuel can go back around the outside. So P1 is Jerison after lap number 2, then Samuel in hot pursuit, of course, getting a decent start, maintaining second place off the line, sizing up a move here, going purple to his second lap there. Of course, all drivers will do purple laps on lap number 2, but I'll tell you what, he's flying there. There goes Arnaud from Belgium, started in 7th place, is up to 3rd already, overtaking Rashid. And what a start from Arnaud there, looking to make up ground, and he's already made up about 4 places. He could potentially make up more places. Rashid going to the inside line there of Samuel. Can he make a move stick on this lap? Last time round he tried to make it stick, it didn't work. They're going to go side by side nearly through the final chicane here. It seems Rashid going sideways there. Tad fortunately saved the cart. Antoine still in the middle of the track there. A bit of a obstacle for the kart racer to get around. I think the cart of Antoine will ghost anyway if a kart racer does go through. So it's all good for now. But I'll tell you what, there's a 4-way scrap for the lead. We can see here it's Jerison, it's Samuel, it's Rashid on the outside line up ahead there. You can see it's Samuel though who went down the inside to turn number 3, and Jerison and Rashid crashed. There's been a collision there, meaning Arnaud is up to 2nd position, and it seems Jerison and Rashid unfortunately tangled together. Hussein round the outside. Hussein, will you believe it, from about 8th on the grid is up to 4th. And it's only about lap number 4, so if you do the maths, he's made up a place on every single lap. Hussein, out of absolutely nowhere, is up to 4th position. What a start. And I'll tell you what now, it seems there's a big battle for the lead between Samuel and Arnaud. That'll go on. We have Hussein 4th, we had Page in 5th, I believe, or 6th it was. It's as we're going through the grid over here quite quickly, and we'll cut to a battle between Page and Alexander. And oh, they got a bit too close for comfort there, and unfortunately Alexander there has come off worse. And to be fair, and then we see Omar on the left hand side of your screen has also absolutely binned it into the barriers. But Page and Alexander got a bit too close for comfort, and it was Alexander who came off worse, and once again came off worse too. He spins out of the final corner, and he's almost plumb last, to be fair. We're on board then with 2nd place man. This is Arnaud and Samuel, of course. The battle is far from over. These two racers know each other in terms of Gran Turismo sport. They race each other frequently, and once again, familiar territory. It's another battle between the two kart racers side by side. It seems Samuel has the inside line, unless Arnold can sweep around the outside. He couldn't do that time round. Of course, you need quite superior momentum to do so. Samuel doing a superb job, holding 1st position, of course. 1st place goes to Samuel. But I'll tell you what, Arnold there was side by side, and he could go round the outside, and he does go round the outside. It's Arnold who makes the move round the outside through turn number 3, and he takes the first position spot off of Samuel. I'll tell you what though, Samuel is right behind him, heading out the final chicane. Could he have a run heading into the first corner of the following lap? I'll tell you what though, there's another battle here between Jerison, Rashid and Hussein. So Hussein is now back down to 4th because Rashid overtook him. Of course, Rashid was qualified in 3rd place and spun off, I believe, so that's why he's been demoted a couple of places. He could make a move on Jerison, but Hussein could also make a move on Rashid. It's a close battle here, side by side. Hussein overtakes Rashid, and that was quite the move from Hussein to mug Rashid off of 5th place, but Rashid will come back. He has the slipstream. Slipstream is so crucial on this game, and he makes the move into the 3rd to last corner, the hairpin corner, of course. Rashid back up to 4th position then, and meanwhile Jerison is not being able to eke out any sort of gap. As Rashid there nearly losing into the wall, and somehow he keeps the cart on track. We're gonna have to have a rewind of that. How on earth did Rashid keep the cart on track? So here we go, through the final couple of corners. He rolled the curb into the barrier there, and somehow, congratulations, probably the save of the century there. How did Rashid not lose the cart there? He controlled that superbly well, and I tell you what, he's only lost 1 place to Hussein, so he's only in 5th, and he's only a couple of tenths behind too. So superb control, cart control from Rashid to not beach the cart into the barrier. But Hussein looking around the outside of Jerison here, and he got hung out to dry, so that means Rashid, who was only a couple of tenths behind, will now once again go down the inside. Could he make a move on Jerison? Jerison covers up for now. Of course, Jerison from Colombia won the last race, and as Rashid once again off into the grass, and he is not having the most consistent ride at the moment in his cart, and once again found himself in the grass. It's Rashid then down to 5th and quite a way off 4th position at the moment, at least a couple of seconds. Back to the battle for the race leaders. Samuel then, we missed what happened. Samuel has retaken the lead of the race from Arnold. So Belgium versus UK, and it's UK winning out at the moment. Samuel leading the way. But I'll tell you what, Arnold is in hot pursuit. He's got that slipstream. Of course, on GT Sport karting, the slipstream effect is massively beneficial. If you don't have the slipstream, you're going to be left to be at least a second slower than a person who does have slipstream. So you've got to be within slipstream range of someone. The likes of Omar in 8th and Stanley too, they're not being able to profit from this because there's such a big gap between the 2 carts, so they almost hang out to dry, if you like, at the back of the grid. But Arnold got quite close to Samuel there, not sizing up a move yet, but he's very close, and of course you strategically want to make the move. You don't want to just make it in a technical corner, because on the following straight, the rival who you just overtook is going to have the benefit of the slipstream. So Arnold has the slipstream now. Can he go to the outside part of the track? He seems to be sticking in the slipstream, potentially go down the inside. It's Samuel covers off the inside line for now. Arnold once again going for the wider line it through turn number 1, and he'll cut back and apex that much later. Or did he even apex there? I don't think he did. He just went all the way to the outside part of the track. Of course, if you do stay in the slipstream through corners, you do lose the downforce, so you can potentially get a huge snap of oversteer or even understeer too. So that's maybe a reason why Arnold was backing out of the slipstream. I'll tell you what though, Hussein doing a really nice job just to stay with Jerison. Jerison is no slow driver. Jerison is one of the quickest drivers out there on the grid, and Hussein is using the slipstream benefit to his advantage, and also learning the line of Jerison. He's staying in just behind Jerison in 4th place. We have Rashid 5th. Paige doing very well in 6th, but also she got tangled up in a lap 1 incident, as so did Faisal. Faisal is only about 2 seconds behind Paige at the moment, so could this be a battle to watch come the end of the race? We have Omar over here, unfortunately got absolutely wiped out into turn number 3, and he's nearly plumb last. I'll tell you what though, Stanley at the end of lap number 1 lost the cart, and he's nearly losing the cart over here, is Stanley, but Stanley is 9th place, and he rounds out your grid because Antoine and Alexander have retired. I'll tell you what, we missed another move for the race lead, and we're going to rewind over here. How did Arnaud overtake Samuel? Let us see then. So this is 1 lap ago, on lap number 12, out the final 2 corners. Arnaud got a superior drive and run around the outside. Could he potentially make the move over here? He certainly made it. Swept around the outside. Arnaud with that absolutely magical momentum run out the final corner has made the move for the lead, and Arnaud leads Samuel. So it'll be Samuel's turn now to hoard the slipstream and potentially make a move, but Arnaud has taken the first place once again, I think for the second time in this race. So Jerison is still in third, and he seems to have opened up about 1 to 1.5 second gap over Hussein then in fourth place. Back to your race leaders then. Samuel is only half a second behind, even 2-3 tenths behind. There's not a lot separating them. Of course, the slipstream effect is carrying the race leaders along very nicely, and he's got a great run, has Samuel, to the inside part of the track. Well, now he'll turn to the outside, but now the inside for turn number 3. He's gone purple to the first sector by 19/100ths of a second, and he's certainly using the slipstream to his advantage. Could he go down the inside over here? Personal best to that middle sector there. Couldn't make a move stick though, wasn't close enough. Arnaud defending for his life, defending for that first position, of course. And lap 14 already, would you believe it? It's over half distance in this race. Of course, 25 laps, equivalent to about a 20-minute race. So certainly plenty of time to battle it out on track. 25 laps is. Jerison then third. We have Hussein at fourth. And tell you what, over here it seems Paige is up to a fifth, and I think that's because Rashid is down to seventh. So Rashid once again has crashed out, meaning Paige is up to fifth. Faisal though, more significantly, has gained about a 2-3 second gap on Paige, and he could be looking to make a move. And to the inside part of the track for turn number 3, it seems Faisal has made the move stick. Paige though will have the benefit of the slipstream heading into the final sector, of course. See Rashid trying to get involved here. Rashid going it down the inside. He's almost going to get sandwiched over here. Rashid up to 5th from 7th in the matter of one corner. Loses the car once again. So as we said, it's not been quite the day for Rashid, just losing the car each time. And once again this happened for him. He's back down to 7th place. Paige though has got some absolutely exceptional run out the final corner. Could just retake 5th place, and she does retake 5th place. Faisal has been overtaken, and Paige had the inside line for the first corner. So position 5 back to Paige, but Faisal in the slipstream will go down the inside into turn number 3. They're going to go side by side over here, and it seems Paige had the better run, if you like, defending once more into the final sector, but it seems Faisal has gone down the inside. Paige with a classy switchback line will gain any time lost, and through the final sequence of corners, once again she's in the slipstream. She'll have a great run, and could she make a move potentially down the inside? She certainly looked for it. Faisal defends just about there on lap number 17 over here. Faisal will defend the inside line. He'll try and defend this top 5 position for all he can. Of course, it's a recovery drive as far as Faisal and also Paige is concerned, as they were caught up in incidents on the first couple of laps. Paige looking down the inside through turn number 4, and of course she was on the outside part of the track in turn number 3, so she's made the move once again, and that is quite the overtake there from Paige on Faisal. And it seems, yep, that move is cemented for the time being. The gap is about half a second between the two kart racers. What a move by Paige then, with that move, the overtake that she made into the final corner on lap number 17 has allowed her to now maintain 5th place. But once again, we've mentioned it so many times, it's the slipstream effect which benefits the chasing driver, and in this case it's Faisal chasing round the outside, cuts back to the inside, looking to pull off a switchback style move, going to the inside part of the track now. Can he make it stick? Paige though has conceded the position, will look to make a switchback line. Couldn't profit too much there, but in the long run, come the first corner now, of course this is a long straight, she'll have the slipstream, she'll have the momentum. Faisal going absolutely defensive there, not wanting to give any opportunity for Page to overtake. He's going to hang around the outside. Page though will cut back to the inside, and there's a momentarily a opportunity there, but she'll look to plot a move elsewhere. Through turn number 3, out the first sector, going to the middle sector, of course, the sweeping left-right turns, and Paige will have the slipstream this time around. She can go down the inside. Faisal looking to defend. Could Faisal switch around the outside? He looks to try and hold it around the outside. Couldn't do so. Paige up to 5th once more. This is a phenomenal battle between Paige and Faisal, and it's just a really, really great battle, of course, to tune into. And I'll tell you what, it may not be for the race lead, but for a top 5 place, any racer would take that. So, especially after the starts that, or the start that we saw on the first lap, where there was a lot of drama, to say the least, and a lot of positions being changed. So we're just scrolling through the grid over here. They're side by side there, Paige and Faisal. Well, we'll have to take a look. I think we missed a huge chunk of this battle. So anyway, we rewinded in time then. It seems Faisal got a good run through turn number 1. He'll go to the outside part of the track in turn number 3. And he has the inside line here, and Paige, oh my goodness me, she just almost got her cart stuck next to Faisal's, and because Faisal had the inside line there, Paige has taken the position back. So, Faisal has taken the position back. But Paige will have a slipstream once more. This is a ding-dong battle. This you cannot call until the race is over, if you like. It seems these two are going to go at it until the checkered flag. Round the outside, side by side through turn number 1 is Faisal. But Paige has the inside line. Paige will retake the 5th position spot. But for how much longer? Faisal seems to have better drive once more. But where can he make the move stick? He'll go and attempt the switchback lines over here. Superior momentum, as you can see, allowing Faisal to go side by side and down the inside. Faisal makes the move stick. Paige will go for the switchback line though, and she seems to have gained quite a lot of momentum, as you can see here. Once again, right up the bumper of Faisal. And she has the inside line heading into turn number 1. Faisal, of course, can't defend as aggressively as he'd like, or he'd swipe Paige out the race. So he'll have to concede 5th place for now. Paige up to 5th then once again. She had the inside line, and Faisal won't mind because he'll have the slipstream here and the cutback line. He'll go side by side around the outside through turn number 2. Downhill, of course, through turn number 3. He'll have the inside line. They're going to be so close over here, side by side. Nothing separating them. They're going very close, as you can see. They're even touching. But that was very, very close to call, and it seems Faisal came out better because he got the 5th position spot once more. But Paige will have the slipstream, but I'll tell you what, she lost a tad bit of momentum on exit of the final corner. As you can see, the gap has opened up from about half a tenth to about 0.2 of a second, so she'll have to stay in the slipstream and make up that time. Meanwhile, my goodness me, it seems Jerison is lapping back markers over here, and he's all run onto the grass. It's Omar and Stanley he's lapping, but he hasn't managed to do that cleanly so far. Jerison wanting to lap the two ahead of him. Back to your race leaders then. We've got to rewind because there has been yet again another change for the lead. There's been so much going on here, and apologies if we missed bits of action, but we're trying to get as much as we can and commentate over it. But I'll tell you what, Samuel had 1st position, but it was Arnaud who once again is looking to take back 1st place. On lap number 23, he goes to the inside part of the track. Samuel will defend once more. That was so close there between the two kart racers, and Arnaud will now set his sights on making an overtake through sector number 3 perhaps, maybe even sector number 2, who knows. He's got a nice slipstream through sector number 2 over here. I don't think he'll be able to make the move until the hairpin corner, but I'll tell you what, he's going to be on the outside part of the track, so he could potentially make a switchback line happen here. Outside part of the track, inside part of the track, couldn't execute the apex as much as he'd like to, but he's right up the bumper of Samuel once more. Samuel goes a bit sideways through the final corner. Is that a mistake that could cost him the lead? Indeed, it is a Samuel. Well, to be fair, they're so close over here on lap number 25, the final lap of the race. They're going side by side through the first corner. And who is going to take the lead? It seems Samuel had the inside line there, despite getting a bit sideways out the first corner, has still managed to maintain the lead. But it's Arnaud with an absolutely magnificent racing line, has somehow swept around the outside, had the inside line for turn number 2, is now leading the race on the final lap. Samuel trying absolutely everything in his bid to take the first race victory in this lockdown challenge. He'll now go side by side, heading through the final chicane. Who's going to win this race? Arnold going sideways, and there was no opportunity for Samuel to creep through there. Arnold dramatically wins the QKC Lockdown Challenge by 1/10 of a second over Samuel. Would you believe it? Jerison will come home in third place, and he will take the final podium position there. What a scrap though for first and second place all the way to the line. Hussein though will take a remarkable 4th position spot. It was no fluke, from 8th to 4th. Paige then, okay, so Paige is now going to take 5th place from Faisal. Maybe there was something we missed in the battle between Paige and Faisal, so we're just going to have to rewind and see what happened, because I'm pretty sure it was Faisal who was 5th, and then Paige must have overtaken him. So let's see what happened here. This might have been a big turning point in the race. So Faisal, as you can see, was in 5th. Paige might have made a last effort gasp just to take the 5th place. She goes to the outside part of the track over here, and she's up to 5th because she had that momentum. Oh goodness me, they're side by side and there's a bit of contact, and Faisal has been put into the barrier a tad there. Let's just rewind and see what happened there. It seemed they just got a bit too close for comfort once again. Here we go, and that's just unfortunate there. Between the two races, it seems Paige was on, well, she had the position to be fair, but unfortunately a cart just came across and they collided, Faisal and Paige. So that's cost Faisal 5th place for now, but I'll tell you what, it's only lap number 24 and he's still in the slipstream. He could have another attempt at overtaking Paige. As you can see, we fast forward to the final lap of the race for Faisal, and he's right behind Paige now. So can he summon up a top 5 finish? Can he overtake Paige for 5th place? Paige is defending with absolutely everything. Of course, a top 5 finish is massive, considering the two races were at the back of the grid after the first lap. They're going to go bumper to bumper through the middle sector over here. Can Faisal go down the inside? They're going to be side by side over here, and it seems Faisal goes down the inside. Paige looking to do a switchback line. She seems to have done that. Faisal has lost the rear end there, and it seems Paige has taken 5th place line. Let's just rewind and see what happened again. From the outside, as she, oh my goodness me, she switches back, and there's a tad bit of contact once more, and on the exit of the hairpin corner, it seems Faisal lost the rear end. So I think that's how 5th and 6th place, the battle for 5th and 6th ended with Paige 5th, Faisal 6th. It was Omar in 7th, and Stanley in 8th, in 8th place, I believe it was. Yeah, it was, because Rashid retired. So what a race, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching our full race replay with commentary. Of course, this race happened yesterday evening, and from 11 races which we had on the grid, we had about 3 retirees, so 8 finishes in the end. Of course, the aim of the QKC Lockdown Challenge is just to have a bit of fun, and this is the only way to go racing under the current situation. So stay tuned for the next QKC Lockdown Challenge. Of course, we're hosting these on every 2 week basis. So every fortnight we're gonna have a QKC Lockdown Challenge Friday night, most convenient time for most people as well. And if we do get more international races to join, we'll most certainly be willing to have them in our lobby to race, because the more people, the more fun. So stay tuned, guys, for the next announcement for the QKC Lockdown Challenge. Of course, you can join the next race. Simply send us a confirmation message, and we'll send you the registration procedure on what you have to do. It's very straightforward though. So as we mentioned, in 2 weeks time there is going to be another QKC Lockdown Challenge, but just to reflect on the race which happened now, which we were commentating over, congratulations to Arnaud from Belgium for winning this race. Samuel as well, congrats to him. He did very well. Despite qualifying second, He was up to first a couple of times in the race, but couldn't make it stick this time. Unlucky. I'm sure he'll come back stronger next time. Second place for Samuel Jerison. Jerison, the race winner of the last QKC Lockdown Challenge, will happily take home a third place finish. We had Hussein fourth position then. It was Page in the end, finished ahead of Faisal for that battle for 5th and 6th. So Faisal was 6th. Umar 7th. Unfortunately, he got absolutely swiped out in the first corner. That's just racing sometimes. And of course, if you're plumb last, you don't have the benefit of the slipstream. And unfortunately, that's the case for both Umar, Faisal. Not Faisal. Faisal was battling with Page, but Faisal, Umar and Stanley. 7th and 8th position. They didn't have any slipstream, so they had to be content with their position. Nonetheless, that is racing, as we said. That is all part of the deal when you do online races. And regarding the incidents and collisions, of course, that's just part of the game. I mean, this is online racing. That's the limitations of online racing. It's not like real life. The reason why you're going to see huge collisions into the first corner on online racing is because online racing is not like real life racing. There's no risk reward factor in real life. If you go to into the first corner, the first lap, you're instinctively worried about everyone else's safety. You're not just going to send it and say, oh well, the cart topples over and I'm just going to respawn on track. No, real life and online racing is different. The risk reward factor is also different. That's why you're going to see people be a lot more aggressive on online racing, and unfortunately that will mean there's more collisions like we saw on the opening lap of this QKC Lockdown Challenge. But we have to understand, this is all racing and this is all for fun. So there's no prize money being handed out. There's no prizes being handed out. This is just to keep racing under the current situation. So we should just all enjoy it. Until the next QKC Lockdown Challenge, everyone, we will see you next time. Stay tuned for the announcement and take care. Goodbye.